Hi viewers, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of A Case of Distrust. It looks like we're really making progress here. We just got some information. We need to talk to Mrs. Green and find out specifically like why she wasn't at the Tin Spoon at midnight. So we can either do that. There's also some information that we got about the new woman, the new singer. Apparently she was all over Tiny Paul. She was very drunk. And that was some new information. So I think it's a good idea to go to the Tiny Spoon first before we go and talk to Mrs. Green. So let's see how that works out. Oh, there's also the racetrack. My money was that Ella Smith would still be upstairs. I could ask her more questions if I felt they would lead anywhere. Hold on a second. So let's see. We can go to the racetrack. What information do we get about the racetrack again? The racetrack. Oh shoot. Who's at the we can what does it say here? It told me, oh, that's right. He was the basis for the team and thus the suspect himself. Okay. Fanny Green was more awake than she'd been last night. She was let's go to the Tin Spoon first and figure out what was going on in terms of being super drunk. See if that brings us anywhere first. Ray Carter tells me that you and Tiny Paul are close, I said. Is that true, Miss Smith? Smith squinted at me hotly, then let out a sigh. Okay, he's right, she blurted out. I'm in love with Paul. That's no crime. It was obvious she wanted to hide the relationship. If the two of them ever broke it off, her career would be doomed. I empathize with her. The heart never plays fair. This won't get you out of my account. Jeez Louise. This won't get out on my account, I promise. But you have to tell me Tiny Paul's whereabouts. She sighed and gave me the address of a Pacific Heights apartment building. He lives in the penthouse on the top floor. Just don't tell him I told you. Okay. I thanked her. Yeah, we can leave her alone for now. I think that's good. Let's see. Let's go back to the Green's house and ask about where she was. Fanny wasn't at the pool hall. One of your backing singers claims you left the upstairs room before midnight. I said from my notes. That's not true, she said defiantly. I was there the entire evening. She seemed quite sure, Mrs. Green. She sang to the drunken boys without you there. But I asked our doorman, Miss Maloon. He says nobody left the upstairs room. You're doing your own digging, I asked. She blushed. I just have no confidence in the police. Anyhow, if nobody came from upstairs, that eliminates anyone in the pool room. I must have been in the restroom if Ella is certain I wasn't with them at that exact time, because I couldn't have been outside. Well, that's not a help. We're not going to contradict you just yet. Let's see, are there any notes? Let's see. Yeah, nothing there. Alright. I don't think we're gonna get anything. Let's go to the racetrack first. I hopped the locked turnstile and wandered the grandstands and some of the grounds, but all my searching turned up nothing and nobody, not even stable. I returned near the entrance to search for more clues. This is how we got in. I removed the trash bin's lid to let my hands play with something while my thoughts had time to form. Okay, there's so many more things to play with than a trash can lid. But I peered in, oh no, and I saw the biggest break in the case thus far, an automatic pistol. 45 caliber was right on top of the pile. I reached in to get a closer look. A throat cleared behind me. I pocketed the weapon quickly and turned around the stable's smug grin. Have you come to watch the horses? He asked. Rumor says that running through fire will be the victor, though at times it can be dangerous to put stock in rumors. Let's see. Let's ask him about the gun. I found an automatic in your trash bin. This 45 is a gangster caliber. What are the chances it's the same one that killed Green? For the first time, I saw Stable frown. I have no idea how or why that gun was placed in that receptacle, but I suppose it could be a gangster's weapon. I tried pumping him down that line some more. Okay. But whatever I said, he wouldn't admit anything else. Still, I knew I had him on the ropes and that I could get more out of him if I asked the right questions. He had admitted the gun could be the murder weapon, but I still didn't know if he'd have the motive or the opportunity to actually kill Green, and he still hadn't told me the real reason for being at the racetrack. Okay. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have started with the gun, huh? Let's ask about Ray. Ray Carter told me something interesting I put to him. He says you got a wire from someone and rushed out, leaving him mid-trim. He frowned again. I was beginning to like his frowns. So it seems to me, I continued, that your boys found the murder weapon in the trash, then called you around to see what to do about it. Yes, he admitted. I was telephoned to look at the weapon. We were about to phone the police about it when I noticed you wandering the grounds. Why were you so interested in the Green case, and why is this gun here? He sighed. Do you remember, Miss Malone, that Connor Green had already attempted to frame me? Once I had learned of his death, I thought that whomever had killed him would also try and blame me. I invited Carter for a trim in exchange for information about the murder, and I told my associates to watch for anything suspicious at the racetrack. As soon as the gun was found, they telephoned me, and here we are. Okay. So you still won't admit to murder, I pushed? No, he's not going to. Think what you want, Miss Malone, but I had no reason to kill Connor Green, and if you think otherwise, you're just playing into the game set up by the real killer. That was the story Stable was sticking with, yeah. Still, I'd been further along than I had been, and it gave me a reason to smile. Let's, So, he says, He only gives friends haircuts. Let's ask about that. No. I don't think we have any other information. Alright, I guess that's it. He's probably pissed at us. What's this? Empty boxes were thrown next to the old wedding house. I spent some time rummaging through them but found nothing of interest. Wooden slates boarding the windows to the old betting house. The Walker Otis measure of the 1909 prohibited gambling on horses, which meant most racetracks shuttered, including the Tanforan. But Stable and a few other investors reopened the tracks the previous year, claiming to operate without taking bets. Yeah. Let's ask them about these two things. Alright, nothing. Let's leave. Time to get to the apartments. He's gonna be surprised to see us. Paul's home was extravagant, yeah. Every item adorning the apartment was of high quality, but there was an evident lack of finesse to their combination, as though Paul had simply purchased expensive accoutrements without any thought for design, whatever that word is. A hat hung from the rack, nailed to the back wall, as did an empty gun holster. Oh. Why are you drinking? Paul's light brown shoes were discarded beside the couch. A cluster of brown glass bottles were on the far table. The couch and chairs had patterned olive-colored cushions. Their arms and legs were a gaudy shade of gold, matching the golden tables. The oil paintings that hung on the wall had no particular theme. One had roses, another showed a landscape, but each of their frames were ornately carved from a fine wood. I said hello. It took a century, but his eyes eventually climbed to meet mine, and he splurred a greeting. I figured a drunk Tiny Paul could be more honest. I thought it was a good time to grill him. Green was killed around midnight, I told him. Do you remember anything from then? After the jazz... Oh, I should have asked, the other guy about that. After the jazz stopped playing at 10, I went up to the pool room to shoot. I think the whole band came in. We played cards until early morning. So you were in the Tin Spoon all night, I asked. After 10, he nodded. Though I did leave before then. I met with Redstone Stable at 9 o'clock and then around 5 in the morning. It seemed like he hadn't slept much. Oh, okay. You met with Stable? I asked why. I ain't telling you that, sister. Then why should I believe you at all? Believe me. Believe what you want, he snorted. I was in the pool hall when Green was shot. Alright. Let's ask him about this, the holster. I pointed to the empty holster in the room. That strap just hold your slingshot. False deep breath. carried more booze than a bootlegger's truck. Alright, Malone, he said with slur words. I do carry a gun, but you're barking up the wrong tree. Lay off if you know what's good for you. You don't even know what my gun looks like. I don't think we know what his gun looks like. Yeah. Let's not contradict. I described the gun I found and how it matched the type gangsters were known to carry. And I don't see your gun around here, I ended. His jaw stiffened. I keep my gun in that holster, and when I'm not home, that holster stays on my person or in my jacket. So where is it now? What if I told you I lost it yesterday? How could you disprove that? I raised an eyebrow. A weak story, Paul. Weak or not, it's what I'm telling you. What are you going to do about it? I'm just asking questions. I said, a detective has to cover all leads. Paul took a heavy sigh, but in his drunken state, he didn't do much more. Let's ask about that. Alice Smith tells me Lil Fanny was absent from the billiards room at midnight. I told him so. He asked impatiently, so was she, Malone? When I've got my head down in a poker game, the building could burn to the ground and I wouldn't notice. I know she came up with us and I walked her to the cab when I left. Otherwise, I don't know who or what was in the billiard room. Alice Smith tells me that you two are lovers. He let out a low grumble. Smith was beautiful, but she was Chinese, and Paul wouldn't sit well if the rumors spread about them. Paul, I pressed, is she lying to me? Paul sighed with a no and followed it. It's just petting between us, nothing more. Okay, well. Let's ask about these. Yeah. Let's ask him this. Alright, leave him be. Alright, so I think that's a good enough place as any to stop. We're definitely going to have to ask Stable what he was doing in the middle of the night. Do we have, yeah, Stable hadn't slept all night. Actually, let's tell him that the, about the wine. See what he says about that. Alright, so he did know. Early this morning he slurred, I went to, well, you don't need to know where. Even inebriated, Tiny Paul knew enough not to give away family secrets. Anyhow, it was enough to tell you this. Green was pulling the bait and switch. He wanted to take our money and get out of the city. He had no plan to sell any of the stuff. So yeah, I'm glad he got what was coming to him. But no, he extended the last letter. I'm not the one that plugged him. Okay. As much as Paul claimed to not be responsible, I wondered how much I could trust the word of a gangster. I wonder if we should ask him more about it. What if Paul, or not Paul, Mr. Green found out about them, Ella and Paul dating, and Ella killed him? Would that be crazy? Maybe. We'll have to ask Mrs. Green about that too. Okay, I think this is good for now. We'll stop the episode here, kind of gather our thoughts and figure out what our next move is. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. As always, talk to you soon.